So now I'd like to show how we can mesh in Apex and then export that mesh into Patran and use it as a seed to mesh this entire solid body. Okay, and just for a simple example, we're going to mesh just a few of the faces on this leading edge here. So I'm going to go to Meshing, Surface Mesh. Going to go ahead and stick with 6/1000 of an inch for our mesh size. Going to use triangle elements for our mesh type, map mesh, and quadratic elements. Okay. Go ahead and select face as well as this one. Close out a surface mesh tool. I can also just quickly hide our geometry to get a better look at our mesh. So this is much better than what we would have gotten with those small sliver faces in there. Now with those faces gone, we get a nice uniform mesh, get a very nice matte mesh actually on those two faces. So I'm going to go ahead and just mesh those two faces for this example. And to export into BDF and also a Parasolid, all I need to do is go to my model tree, right click on Mesh 1, and go to Export. Let's call this Leading Edge Mesh. Apex is going to ask me for a unit system. I'm going to select custom units, which I had previously set up, and click export. And Apex is going to give me a warning that because I have chosen custom, the custom unit system, my units may not necessarily be consistent with one another. However, I have verified my units are all consistent. I don't have inches with kilograms, etc. So it's just giving you a warning saying that this could cause problems if you had inconsistent units when the Nastran solver goes to solve. So I'm going to go ahead and export. Like I said, I've already verified that everything is correct. Get my Parasolid of my edited geometry, I need to right click on solid 1. Go to export. I call this turbine blade Apex edit. Click export. Okay. Now let's go ahead and open up Patran. Going to go to File, Import. Bring in our turbine blade Apex edit. Going to get an import summary from Patran. Click OK. Zoom in here quickly and verify that our changes were made. And we can see that those small faces that we began with are no longer there, so we do have our edited geometry in Patran. Go ahead and zoom out. Bring in our mesh. Go back to File, Import. I'm going to change our source to MSC Nastran input. I'm going to select Leading Edge Mesh. Get a little warning. I'm going to click Yes. And we can see that Patran brought in 297 nodes and 130 elements. Yes. Okay. So Patran has no knowledge that this mesh and these elements are associated with those faces on that solid geometry. So we need to go ahead and reassociate them in Patran if we want to do any manipulation here. We're going to go to Meshing. Going to go to Create. associate element with surface. Go ahead and select all of our elements. We're going to turn on visible entities only, make selecting those solid faces easier. Click apply. Okay. Clear everything out. Those elements now should belong to those solid faces, and to verify that, we can go to Tools, List, Create, change our object to element, and our method to association. Then I can select those solid faces again. Click Apply, highlight. And it does indeed look like all of our elements are associated properly to those faces. Now that they are, we can go ahead and use them as a seed and mesh the entire solid body. Let's go to Create, Mesh on Solid. Let's actually do 0.01 for our mesh size. Give Patran a second to mesh. And we can see that Patran did properly use our seed, our shell seed, to mesh the faces of that leading edge exactly as we wanted, and then it finished and meshed the entire surface or the solid body. So the route that I showed, where we manually made the changes to the solid geometry, exported the both the BDF and as well as the edited parasolid, is a good process to follow if you wanted to use the association of any of these faces to apply loads.